I can smell it. Because this stuff right here, no one should have to eat this. No normal person would be able to cope eating all that. But I just put that in my big pot of rice. Okay? Here's the habanero peppers. Here's the minced forts and the ghost peppers, which I highly recommend no one should eat unless they had experience like I have. Already my nostrils are starting to sting a little bit. Probably because I blew my nose with this stuff. Yeah, that's gonna keep me on the toilet for hours, I think. Anyway, the point of the video wasn't about that. The point of the video was just trying to explain to people that what I do, by now it should be fairly plainly obvious. This was my old dad's camera bag. And back in the day, when he actually trusted me to give me our family footage tapes, videotapes, I managed to convert over half of them. You know, my dad, he, how should I say this? Well, I think, looking back, I think he, even though that I have to give credit to my dad for helping me to get through film school, or at least most of it, before I decided to drop out. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he's very disappointed in my career decision, because, I wanted to try to make films with people, but that didn't work, so I went to YouTube, and that didn't turn out too well either. Trying to share some truther videos, doing documentaries about the MBAT2 or the RNA vaccines, which is gonna, in a few months' time we'll probably get it. I mean, I don't really care about that right now. I just honestly, for the few people who have followed me, God bless you. But my life is not perfect right now, and what you need to understand is this. I'm 35, film school dropout. He became a watchman. Or, no, that's not entirely true. I did watchman work because I wanted to do the good work for God, and I feel like I'm at that point now where I'm wondering, where is my reward? I wonder. I know it's kind of selfish for me to ask this, but yeah, I mean, if he is good, and if I try to please him, do the good work, try to lead people, maybe make a difference, a small difference, not a major one. I wonder if I did enough, so maybe one day my prayers can be answered and I can find someone good for myself, somebody nice, someone right for me, that maybe she would be like that missing piece, or that companion that I've always dreamed about. And we would have been like a team, like we would have been able to go travel the world. We would have been able to accomplish many different things. We would have been able to maybe have a kid together, or just build a big cabin out there in the mountains, or do all that stuff. Maybe do the van living thing. I'm not employed right now, but maybe in a different community I could easily work for doing anything. Like, this is the COVID situation and everyone is now stuck indoors. But that shouldn't be an excuse. Like, every day when I wake up in the morning, I feel miserable. And I just thought that I wanted to share this, like how I really feel. And I mean, like, it's good to have people ask me, like, oh, what's your Twitter account? Or, maybe we should follow up on Facebook. Listen, I'm not a guy who really cares anymore about Facebook or Twitter. I'm just a guy who was born in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s before the internet and cell phones and all that stuff. And truth be told, I just wanted to find a nice girl, maybe settle down, maybe buy my own place one of these days. With the right partner, I could go far. And I have gotten pretty far on my own. I just reached the point. I've reached the end of myself, and I really would like to have somebody who can help me to become my best self and help me to try to help her out together. That'd be something worth having. And yeah, I mean, like, how another way of saying this is that tomorrow I could probably give away like most of my junk and I would not even care. That's the truth, because it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Despite maybe some small sentimental value, it has no real long-term value. Like, it's not going to say "I love you, Daddy," or I love you, honey. You're a good man. You're a good husband. I love you so much. It's not going to say that. And yeah, like, I have my independence and I guess freedom. But at a certain point in your life, each and every one of you is going to have to you're going to have to ask yourself, like, am I really fulfilled? Is this what I really want? And for me, no, this is not really what I want. I wanted to try and do more. I mean, aside from doing a few documentaries for YouTube, getting shadow banned and trying to do anonymous work, I don't know. I don't know if that really fulfills me anymore. I just really don't want to spend the rest of my life being alone. And yeah, I'm pretty much miserable right now. I'm not even if I read parts of the Bible, yeah, sure, that's going to give me a little bit of wisdom, but it's like, even when you pray, I don't really hear God's presence. If that means anything. I just wanted to find someone, get off this island, start over. And then maybe one day, I'll figure that out later. But for now, I'm seeing what's around the bend. Yeah, these vaccines. Yeah, it scares me. Are my family going to listen to me and say, "Oh, yeah, well, we don't think you have any credibility because you're not making money, so we won't listen to you." Even though I've done a lot of research, and it's like my family, they don't understand. They don't understand this world, this strange world that I have to go back and forth in between YouTube, and I have to unplug every so often because it just takes its toll on me after a while. I get to that point where I'm just like emotionally exhausted, and I feel like I'm just not fulfilled. So I might think about quitting YouTube, probably for good. I want to try and sell maybe some of my equipment so I can maybe take the paramedics course or try and do something else. I mean, I gave some of my equipment away, try to help someone else, because they're working hard on their YouTube channel. They're not small. They went out and they did great things. Over 10 years they've been on YouTube. I'm not sure if that's me or that can be me in a few years. I don't know. I just think about down the road time, and I want in a few years to be married and have a kid. I would be a good daddy. One time I took care of 40 kids at a after school program. I was a program coordinator's assistant, and it was under a contract. I had a crappy boss. Didn't have the right to go back to check to see a doctor because I was suffering from complications from LASIK at the time. That's a whole other story, but the point is that I did take care of a lot of kids. For the most part, it was fairly rewarding. And that just happened over 10 years ago, yeah? So I just think about that. And I was thinking about that actually last night while I was drinking. I got back to that, yeah. But I had to think about a lot of things. I just have so much on my mind right now. This year is just it pretty much broke me. That's what it did. I spent the last 2 days just trying to reminisce, looking back on my childhood playing Nintendo. That was just a part of my childhood. It reminds me of a simpler time. And right now, these are not very simple times right now. Every day, it's going to be a new change. Something different will happen in the news. Maybe one of these days, there could be anything. There could be a food shortage. There could be mandatory vaccinations. My grandmother could die. So I just wanted to try and say how I really feel. Get this on YouTube, put on my channel. If no one sees it in a week, I'll just take it down. So that's fine. But I wish that my friends, they weren't all behind the screen, that I didn't have to text them. I could just talk to them face to face. I miss having real people in my life. That's what I want. I don't want to spend the rest of my life interacting with people behind a screen, whether it's YouTube or whether it's Facebook or Twitter or any other social media platforming device, whatever. I don't care about that. I mean, you could post whatever you want. It means nothing to me. I mean, I've reached the point now where I could create anything, put it on a video, but who would see it? It's like that. I mean, I spent a good part of my year one time. I made a independent short film, but who cares? Who really cares? You know? It means nothing to me. So that's probably garbage. Just like the rest of this junk that I have in my apartment. I just want to create a fresh start. Maybe start by selling some of this. See if I can get an old beater. Maybe before Christmas, if I'm lucky, I could try and maybe get a car. I could do that. And all this stuff that served its purpose, but is not helpful for me to long term, I'm gonna try and get rid of that. Pretty soon I might have to break the news and tell my landlord, like it's time I should move on. And where am I gonna go from here? I don't know. Maybe, I think if God had a plan for me, I think he wouldn't have wanted me to be here. So yeah, that's sad. The saddest thing is this. I couldn't even get help to fix my bike. Get help to get my MIDI keyboard set up. It's just, I guess people are either too busy or preoccupied with their own lives. So in this city, I might as well be living out in the middle of nowhere because nobody wants to come together and interact anymore. So it's like society as we know it is slowly becoming undone. I could see that. And for the future, for myself, and for my future kids, I want to try and do the responsible thing. Maybe I can have time to actually go back and take a paramedics course and maybe go back. Maybe not back to school. I don't have when most people have stimulus, whatever. I don't have that. People don't understand that some people really not gonna get that. And I don't expect anyone to give me a handout. I can earn whatever I need just to get by. But if I find an opportunity or somebody to be with, yeah, I wouldn't take it for granted. I would just say to kids, you know what, stay in school. But then again, I wasted 18 years of my life going to school. Didn't learn a darn thing. Nothing that I really need to use for practical purposes. But there's always tutorials. In your spare time, you decide whatever it is that you want to study. I would suggest highly to just go ahead and do that. Go on YouTube and create copies of whatever information you want. Make a library for yourself, maybe, and hold on to that for years down the road, because we don't know what's going to happen a year from now. I don't know. I don't see things remaining as they are. Like, nothing ever really stays the same. And most of us will probably be out of job before years ended. Hope not. Anyway, I'm just gonna go and eat that. I think it's done. Yeah. Fiery goodness. I call this Hellfire. Rice. Or something. I'll just add a better name later. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's just, you need to know there's a lot of hot peppers in there. I shouldn't even be eating it. But that'll put some pep in your step. That'll put a fire between your behind. And yeah, it'll probably wake me up a little bit. So, I guess maybe I'm a masochist like that. And just like me posting this shit on YouTube, I should probably end off by saying something, quote, but I can't think of anything right now. I just really wish that I had more people come in my life, and maybe we could have gotten together and do something. Maybe collaborate, help each other. Not just say what we should do, but actually do it. You know? And I wanted to try to stop the vaccines, but I guess one guy can't do it. Maybe if we organize, we can. I suppose anything is possible. Anything is possible, but highly unlikely. Because, why? Everybody's always going to be on social media. Always going to complain, but never will they be willing to get together, protest, or do any of that stuff. I mean, I see so many people who are against this, yet they're not protesting. So, yeah, probably will happen. Finally, tyranny will be victorious, and we will not take a stand and fight. That's the saddest thing. It's like, yeah, submissive. Our society is submissive, and we don't even get up and help each other out anymore. Just typing keys, thinking that's going to solve our problems, but it's not. People are stuck in illusion. And that's why I hate social media so much, because it's all talk. Nothing ever gets done. You can't talk your way into making a feature film. You know, the reason why I couldn't even get my films to be made, we could have done this if we worked together as part of a team, but I guess I'm in the wrong area. Or maybe it's just another sign of the times. I collected this much equipment on my own, but no one wanted to get together and nobody wanted to shoot anything together or make anything, jam. I had a studio, but like everywhere else, you know, in society, it's not always about me. You know, I could set it up, but unless people want to actually come together, it's yet another example of society that's going the wrong way. It's going the wrong way. We need to change before. Well, we all have to try and make up our own minds. You know, we have to try and actually do something. If we don't actually do something to make change, the powers that be are going to decide for us. Because that's what needs to happen. People, we have to take a stand. We have to fight for our rights, or what little rights we have left. Because at the end of the day, our rights will be taken away from us until we have none left. And that's the truth. We cannot stop all these things from happening today, but if we're consistent, we have to take a stand. We have to come together and get off the damn screens. Get off the screens. Okay? Get your ass off behind the screen and actually come together. And then we could do something. Okay. Well, that's enough of my meta rant. Now it's time for me to eat this. Okay. That's it. Good night.